Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
You turn the time circuits on.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Time won't give me time. Gotta get back in time. Time after time.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
All right, here we go. It's another Saturday night, another edition of Decades lined up and ready to go. We've got our top 9 at 9 back in time tonight. We will be starting our brand new segment next Saturday night. That's what I'm thinking right now. I always forget about stuff. Anyway, top 9 at 9 back in time, 1984. We will go back to tonight. You don't want to miss it. Hairspray at 8, the 8-track classic flashback, and Kenny Loggins. Right now, this is Decades on the River 105 and 103.5.
This
on air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere. 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 Everywhere.
When I was young, I knew everything. She a punk who rarely ever took advice. Now I'm guilt-stricken, sobbing with my head on the floor, stopping baby's breath and a shoe full of rice. No, can't be held responsible. She was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we never compromised. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. Best friend took a week's vacation to forget her. This girl took a week's worth of Valium and slapped him. Now he's guilt-stricken, sobbing with his head on the floor. Thinks about her knowing how he never really wept, he said. Can't be held responsible. She was touching her face. I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we never compromised. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. Tried to wash our hands of all of this. We never talk of our lack in relationships and how we're guilt-stricken, sobbing with our hands on the floor. We fell through the ice when we tried not to slip, we'd say it. Can't be held responsible, 'cause she was touching her face. And I won't be held responsible. She fell in love in the first place. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we never compromised. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. For the life of me, I cannot remember what made us think that we were wise and we never compromised. For the life of me, I cannot believe we'd ever die for these sins. We were merely freshmen. We were merely freshmen.
It is Decades live every single Saturday night, 7 to midnight. Decades with JoeyKramer.com right here on the River 105 and 103.5. 1997, The Verve Pipe. The Freshman on Decades.
Joey Kramer. Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
Yeah, everybody saw Paula Abdul performing on the Billboard Music Awards the other night. She was not singing, okay? Let's get that straight. She was lip syncing. Her mic didn't even work when she was talking to Kelly Clarkson. That thing was kind of funny, but she's a dancer, right? I guess. Straight up, Paula Abdul.
Lost in a dream. I don't know which way to go. Let me say that if you are all that you seem, then maybe I'm moving
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 90s.
Now this one dedicated to the girl with the angel face and the devil heart. You know, so Ragamuffin Chaka, the most new car players come to deal in the case. Step up my youth, hear this.
I know this little girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. If I ever tell you about Maxine, you older say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote.
Real.
Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote.
Action on with him, a pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Follow me. A pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Say, girl, you pretty, your face it pretty, but your character dirty. Girl, you just a act too flirty. You run to Tom Dick and also hurry. And when you find your mistake, you talk about you sorry. Come now.
Have a cozy corner where she jokes and where she jam. She know about Luke, Jack and every money man. Make love with the coolie Chinese, white man and Indian. The wickedest kind of girl, them is a players go up and down. Know you heard about this girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. And if I ever tell you about Maxine, you older say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote.
Murder Richard, man.
Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Na. Murder she wrote.
Watch you now stand still. You not pay me like bill. If you're testing Ragamuffin, girl, you going get killed. Girl, keep wait. Can you a crembe? And the lyrics when me talk, it me DJ, girl, come out. Because you nah shock out. And when you hear the Ragamuffin, you have to jump and shout. Don't touch me gate. You not pay me what I read. The concrete is great. You underrate. Follow me. You pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Follow me. You pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Say, girl, you pretty. You face it pretty, but your character dirty. Girl, you just a act too flirty. You run to Tom Dick and also hurry. And when you find your mistake, you talk about you sorry.
Now every middle of the year, this young girl have a passion for the coolie white man, Indian, Mexican, kill an infant. And just the other day, me see her 6 months pregnant. Now she back for sweet again with not a baby in a prom. Do you heard about this girl? Her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. And if I ever tell you about Maxine, you older say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Na. Murder she wrote.
Excuse me. Y'all never know so you see. Ragamuffin Chaka, they must come to flash it same way. Oh, follow me. You pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Follow me. You pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Say, girl, you pretty. You face it pretty, but your character dirty. Girl, you just a act too flirty. You run to Tom Dick and also hurry. And when you find your mistake, you talk about you sorry. The girl a boss and a brag on, she look sexy. All she worship is pure vanity. The girl a boss and a brag on, she look ready. When she wash her clothes, it dirty. Girl, you not ready. If you can't cook for me, girl, you not ready. If you can't wash for me, girl, you not ready. If you know you're flirty, follow me. You pretty face and bad character. Then the kind of living can hold Chaka. Follow me now. You pretty face and bad character. Then the kind of living can hold Chaka. So stand still. You not pay me like
Oh yeah, Decades. Shaka Demus and Flyer. 1993, that was a huge club
Know you
song.
heard about this girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. Man, if I ever tell you about Nancy, you older say I don't know what I know.
I am just in love with that song. That was one of the biggest songs, especially in the clubs in 1992. Shaka Demus and Pliers. And Shaka Demus, by the way, was born. I love this. He calls himself Shaka Demus because it sounds really cool. But his actual name is John Taylor. Now, he was born in Jamaica, but Shaka Demus, a.k.a. John Taylor. Like Duran Duran type John Taylor. You know what I'm talking about? Murder, She Wrote right here on Decades. It's Joey Kramer. We do it every single Saturday night. Head over to Facebook at Decades with Joey Kramer. It'll bring up all of our stuff there. Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. But Decades with Joey Kramer on Facebook. And we have our question. It'll be coming up there in a little bit tonight. I think it's going to be your first concert. So check that out. Like, follow. We got the top 9 at 9 back in time tonight, 1984, Hairspray at 8, and we got an 8-track classic flashback coming up. Number 1 song, January 1970, by a big old family band. I know you'll know it. That'll be coming up in about 20 minutes or so. So stay right here. It's Decades. We are live around the world. Decades with JoeEKramer.com, our Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device. Also, for your Alexa device, just say Radio Bold. Everything is free. And, of course, right here on the river, 105 and 103.5, more Decades coming up. 90 seconds. Hang on.
Do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer. It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Northeast PA's The River.
As we roll 5 full hours of retro radio, it's Joe E. Kramer. We are live inside Milligan's Unspoken Up. Around the world, Decades with JoeEKramer.com, the Radio Bolt app for free. Top Top 9 at 9 coming up. We got our 8-track classic flashback. These boys from Scotland, 1990, the Soup Dragons.
You are the one, supreme being, just dressed to kill and fulfill just any dream. You are the one, heart's desire, all hips and lips made to trick just any fool. Mixed up in your own emotions. Your vanity will always be your greatest thing. I could have sworn that you were an angel, 'cause you're a sweet, 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 divine thing. The devil, dressed like a sweet, 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 divine thing.
Crack open a new Coke and slip on those leg warmers. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove. For the first time in my life, I see I need love. There I was, giggling about the games that I had played with many hearts, and I'm not saying no names. Then the thought occurred, teardrops made my eyes blur, as I said to myself, look what you've done to her. I can feel it inside, I can't explain how it feels. All I know is that I'm never dishing of the raw deal, playing make-believe, pretending that I'm true, holding in my laugh as I say that I love you, saying I'm more, kissing you on the ear, whispering I love you and I'll always be here. Although I often reminisce, I can't believe that I found a desire for true love floating around inside my soul, because my soul is cold. One half of me deserves to be this way till I'm old, but the other half needs affection and joy, and the warmth that is created by a girl and a boy. I need love. Romance, sheer delight, how sweet. I gotta find me me a girl to make my life complete. You can scratch my back, we'll get cozy and huddle. I'll lay down my jacket so you can walk over a puddle. I give you a rose, pull out your chair before we eat. Kiss you on the cheek and say, ooh girl, you're so sweet. It's deja vu whenever I'm with you. I could go on forever telling you what I do, but where you at, you're neither here nor there. I swear I can't find you anywhere. Damn sure ain't in my closet or under my rug. This love search is really making me bug. And if you know who you are, why don't you make yourself seen? Take a chance with my love and you'll find out what I mean. Fantasies can run, but they can't hide. And when I find you, I'ma pour all my love inside. I need love. Kiss you, hold you, never scold you, just love you. Suck on your neck, caress you and rub you. Grind, moan, and never be alone. If you're not standing next to me, you're on the phone. Can't you hear it in my voice? I need love bad. I got money, but love something I never had. I need your ruby red lips, sweet face and all. I love you more than a man who's 10 feet tall. I watch the sunrise in your eyes. We're so in love when we hug, we become paralyzed. Our bodies explode in ecstasy unreal. You're as soft as a pillow and I'm as hard as steel. It's like a dreamland, I can't lie, I've never been there. Maybe this is an experience that me and you can share. Clean and unsoiled, yet sweaty and wet. I swear to you, this is something I'll never forget. I need love. I'm no longer a playboy on the run. I need something that's stronger. Friendship, trust, honor, respect, admiration. This whole experience has been such a revelation. It's taught me love and how to be a real man. To always be considerate and do all I can. Protect you, you're my lady and you mean so much. My body tingles all over from the slightest touch of your hand. And understand, I'll be frozen in time till we meet face to face and you tell me you're mine. If I find you, girl, I swear I'll be a good man. I'm not gonna leave it in destiny's hands. I can't sit and wait for my princess to arrive. I gotta struggle and fight to keep my dream alive. I search the whole world for that special girl. When I finally find you, watch our love unfurl. I need love. Listen to me. When I be sitting in my room all alone, staring at the wall, fantasies, they go through my mind. And I've come to realize that I need true love. And if you want to give it to me, girl, make yourself seen. I'll be waiting. I love you.
Blasting out the hits. The Master Blaster. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Hi, this is Taylor Dane, and you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
Tonight
she granted me an interview, and she gave me and it was great. I said, "Hey, Taylor, how you doing? I never aired this interview." She said, "Oh, I'm good." And she said, "Hurry it up, because I can only give you about 4 minutes. So I had like a 4.5-minute interview with Taylor Dayton, and don't talk about the hits, by the way. Missing Person.
Do you hear me? Do you care? Do you hear me? Do you care? My lips are moving and the sound's coming out. The words are audible, but I have my doubts that you realize what has been said. You look at me as if you're in a daze. It's like the feeling at the end of a page when you realize you don't know what you just read. What are words for when no one listens anymore? Words for when no one listens. What are words for when no one listens? There's no use talking at all. I might as well go up and talk to a wall. Lose all the words I have, ain't no effect at all. It's a funny thing. Am I all alone? Something has to happen to change the direction. Little pieces through us, giving you the wrong impression. It's a sorry stage. I say to myself, what are words for when no one listens anymore? When no one listens, what are words for when no one listens? There's no use talking at all. Do you hear me? Do you care? Do you hear me? Do you care? Let me decide, will we understand? What does it mean? When will I know? Don't see why you know not. And you know it's backwards, and if it's strangers, time is my friend. Is this the knowing now? Is this the knowing now? Is this the You would ask me further, and another thing you'll find. Not only are they deaf and dumb, they could be going blind. No one notices. I think I'll dye my hair blue. Media overload, bombarding you with action. Sitting there impossible. Take those distractions, someone answer me before I pull up the plug. What are words for when no one listens anymore? When no one listens, what are words for when no one listens? There's no use talking at all. What are words for when no one listens anymore? When no one listens, what are words for when no one listens? There's no use talking at all. Do you hear me? Do you care? Do you hear me? Do you care? What are words for? Do you hear me? Words for? Do you care? What are words for? Do you hear me? Words for? Do you
Decades with Joe E. Kramer gives you this week's 8-track classic flashback.
Let me think now. I had you to my
How the King of Pop got all started there, the Jackson 5, and that was their very first national single, released October 18, 1969, hit number 1 in January 31st, 1970, and off they went from that point on. The Jacksons, Jackson 5. I want you back. The 8-track classic flashback tonight, right here on Decades. I got a big old show. I think the Derby's over. It's the craziest night of the year up here. It really is bigger than New Year's Eve. It's unbelievable. Really is. That's all I'm going to say. Hairspray at 8's coming up next. Cinderella, Steelheart, Bangalore Choir. What else we got coming up here? Johnny Crash, not Johnny Cash. And we're going to get a solo Tommy Lee song on, which I really like back in 2005 from his Tommy Lee Goes to College VH1 reality show. That and more right here. It's Decades. Around the world at decadeswithjoekramer.com. Also, we are live at the Radio Bold app. You can download that for free for your iPhone or Android device. And, of course, Alexa. Just say Radio Bold to your Alexa device. And you can get it free right there. And, of course, as always, live on River 105 and 103.5. Hang on. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 8 o'clock.
This is Ted Poley of Danger Danger.
This is Lorraine Lewis for the band Femme Fatale.
Hey, this is Kelly Kagi from Night Ranger.
I am on Decades with Joey Kramer.
You're listening to Joe E. Kramer, Decades, and you're rocking Decades with my buddy Joey Kramer.
This is where the past comes alive. Hairspray at 8 starts now.
All right, 8 o'clock. That means it is time for the one, the only, the original Hairspray at 8. 1 full hour of hair metal starts right now with Cinderella.
Hey, this is Tom Kiefer, and you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
Turn it up.
Gypsy road.
high was your hair? This is Hairspray at 8. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Angel eyes, you have angel eyes, such a smile lights up my life, lights up my life, lights up my life.
that without a doubt. Steelheart, right here on Decades. And they have their album, which is Live in Milan, which is available now for streaming and buying and everything else. Striper working on another album, supposedly going to be due out later this year. So seems like one a year from these guys, which is fine with me. Calling on you, this is Hairspray at 8.
The generation that put a hole in the ozone. Hairspray at 8 on Decades.
Many years since I was here. On the street, I was passing my time away. To the left and to the right, buildings towering to the sky. It's out of sight in the dead of night. Here I am, in the city, with a fistful of dollars. And baby, you better believe I'm back in the New York blues.
my opinion, the best solo album. I go Ace is the best one. Gene Simmons. Then it's a toss-up. Is it Peter Criss or Paul Stanley as being the bottom of it? According to Paul Stanley, Peter just does nothing but negative vibe. And, you know, here's a guy who's, you know, he's retired. He's not doing anything anymore. Paul puts out this new book, Backstage Pass, and I just read the review of it online, and people are talking about it. I haven't got it yet. I'll get the book. I'll read it. But he's slamming on Peter Criss, and I know this has happened in the past. You know, they all write books. They slam on each other. This is like... But now we're going after Peter Criss. You know, he went after Ace Frehley, and, you know, he dissed a little Gene Simmons, and now he's going after Peter Criss. So... what is going... This has got to be the most dysfunctional band lately. I mean, I guess egos play a big deal in it, but God almighty. Paul's the same person who said that you would never lip-sync anything, and we all know that he's out there lip-syncing on this tour. If you watch the video, there is no doubt in my mind, and I hate to say it because I've loved Kiss for a long time, but there's no doubt in my mind that he's lip-syncing, which makes me very upset. That puts him in the same category as, like, you know, Paula Abdul at the Billboard Music Awards, but whatever. What else are you going to say? We got more Hairspray at 8 coming up. Johnny Crash. We're going to do some Tommy Lee and more. Don't go anywhere. This is Hairspray at 8. This is Decades on the River, 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
This is Hairspray at 8.
Northeast PA's The River. She lies waiting for another kill. I'm the evil behind the thrill. Another victim, another night.
Angel in Black right here on Hairspray at 8. It is Joe E. Kramer. M3 Fest going on this weekend, by the way. LA Guns is debuting. Well, you can't say they're debuting a new lineup, but they have their first time performing with Kelly Nichols. So it's Stephen Riley, Kelly Nichols performing at M3 Rock Festival. There's some video footage that is already up on one of the Facebook sites, Sleaze Rocks, SLEAZEROXX, 2 separate words, and they have video footage up there from M3. Or you go to M3 Facebook, so if you want to see what it's crazy, it is. You got all these different bands with different lead singers and different lineups, and hey, it is what it is, right? Anything for $1. Johnny Crash, Hey Kid, Hairspray at 8.
Mama takes a fancy to living in, send the system choose you up as he starts to begin. He's got tattoos, rings in his ears, everything gets through that his mama fears. Raised another train on a dead end street. I was the gangbang scoundrel of the social elite. It's the same old story, never get a second chance. The system never fails, but you gotta make it stand. Hey kid, look what you did. Hey kid, whoa. Hey kid, mama blew her lid. Hey kid, whoa. I got my education at the school of hard knocks. The pushes and the shovels, you can stop your rocks. My teachers had the qualities you need for president. They were rich, two-faced, and mentally bent. I broke out of school at the age of 16. I was a rebel rouser, just like Jimmy Dean. I had a chip on my shoulder as big as the world, but I knew a thing or two about getting the girls. I love those girls. Hey kid, look what you did. Hey kid, whoa. Hey kid, mama blew her lid. Hey kid, whoa. Look what you did. Hey kid, whoa. Hey kid, mama blew her lid. Hey kid, whoa. Hey kid, look what you did. Hey kid, whoa. Hey kid, mama blew her lid. Hey kid, wow.
Spandex never felt so good. This is Hairspray at 8 with Joe E. Kramer.
Didn't I make you feel like you were the loving man? When you're out on the street, looking good, maybe deep down in your heart, oh, it ain't right. Now, hear me when I'm crying, 'cause I'm crying all the time. I keep trying to tell myself I can't stand the pain when I hold you in my arms, say it once again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, take it. Take it in a little piece of my heart, baby, baby. Oh, baby. Make another little piece, make another little piece of my heart. Yeah, you got it. Think I'll take it. I keep trying to tell myself I can't stand the pain. Hold you in my arms, say it once again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, take it. Take it in a little piece of my heart, baby, baby. Break it in a little piece, break it in a little piece of my heart. Oh, take it. Take it in a little piece of my heart, baby, baby. Break it. Break it in a little piece, break it in a little piece of my heart.
That is a song for the ages, originally done by Irma Franklin in 1967. We all know it when Janis Joplin sang it with the band Big Brother and the Holding Company in 1968. Little said about Rough Cuts version right there. And Piece of My Heart, it is Hairspray. It is Joey Kramer. One remake to another now. Not as, I guess not as iconic as a song, but hey, we all loved it in the 80s. Enough Snuff. This is their cover of Believe It or Not. We should do a whole Hairspray in a cover. Really?
Oh, I can't believe it myself. But suddenly I'm up on top of the world. Should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Never thought it could be so free. Flying away on a wing and prayer. Oh, believe it or not, it's just me. Just like the light of a new day, it hit me from out of the blue. Breaking me out of the spell I was in, making all of my wishes come true. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Never thought it could be so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer.
This is Hairspray at 8 with Joe E. Kramer. Turn it up. Remember when music was this good? This is Hairspray at 8 on Decades.
Put down the magazine and get off the phone. There's a place I want to show you and it won't take long. Take a ride. Take a ride. It's looking like we're getting there. Over here, coming clear. Place that has no lines of times or crimes. Just good times. Just good times. Take me away to a place where the good times roll. Don't let me stay in a place where they can't steal my soul.
Got myself worked up over nothing today. All the trash that's in my head, I gotta throw it away. It's alright. It's alright. It's looking like we're getting there. Over here, coming clear. Place that has no lines of times or crimes. Just good times. Just good times. Take me away to a place where the good times roll. Don't let me stay in a place where they can't steal my soul. This is it, I'm finally here. And all the blurry lines are clear. And everything that I can't see seems to make more sense to me. Why the hell can't I just let it go? Let it go, yeah. Take me away where the good times roll. Don't let me stay where they can't steal my soul. Let good times roll. Let good times roll. Let good times roll.
Here is Hairspray at 8. That is Tommy Lee from 2006. Tommy Land, I think was the name of the album back then. Good Times. Only song that he ever did solo that charted. And what's he doing now? Well, since Motley Crue had their farewell tour in 2015, said he's just enjoying life. He mended fences with his son. He just got married for the 4th time on Valentine's Day to Brittany Ferlin. Now, his previous marriages, Elaine Starczyk, he married in 84, divorced in 85. Heather Locklear, married in 86, divorced in 93. Pamela Anderson, 95, divorced in 98. So he hasn't been married for like 21 years, so maybe he learned something. But he said, you know, it sucked being on the road. He had a mansion he was never in, a pool that he had for 10 years and he never was in because he was always on the road. So he's enjoying what he calls retirement. All right, we're going to lock up Hairspray at 8 here in a minute, and then we get on to our Top 9 at 9 Back in Time tonight. We are going back 35 years to May 4th, 1984. We'll do the 9 biggest songs on your radio this very week, May 4th, 1984. That is coming up next right here. It is Decades. Live around the world, Decades at JoeyKramer.com, the Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device, and of course right here on the River 105 and 103.5. More Decades coming up.
It's 9 o'clock.
What's this? Do you know what this is?
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer on the River.
All right, here we go. Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. The week ending May 4th, 1984. The Megabyte memory chip is introduced. The Apple Macintosh is brand new. Trivial Pursuit, lottery sweepstakes, and guest clothes are in. And one of the biggest movies of the year is with Kevin Bacon. Footloose, generated Footloose and Almost Paradise and Holding Out for a Hero and I'm Free. And of course, this top 10 hit from Denise Williams at number 9. This very week, May 4th, 1984, Top 9 at 9, Back in Time, Denise Williams.
Number 9.
My baby, he don't talk sweet. He ain't got much to say. But he loves me, loves me, loves me. I know that he loves me anyway. And maybe he don't dress fine, but I don't really mind. 'Cause every time he pulls me near
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Number 8.
You've been around for such a long time now, or maybe I could leave you, but I don't know how. And why should I be lonely every night when I can be with you? Oh yes, you make it right, and I don't listen to the guys who say that you're bad for me, and I should turn you away, 'cause they don't know about us, and they've never heard of love. I get a feeling when I look at you, wherever you go now, I wanna be there too. They say we're crazy, but I just don't care, and if they keep on talking, still they get nowhere, so I don't mind if they don't understand when I look at you and you hold my hand, 'cause they don't know about us, and they've never heard of love. Why should it matter to us if they don't approve? We should just take our chances while we've got nothing to lose. Baby, there's no need for living in the past. Now I found good love and gonna make it last. I tell the others don't bother me, 'cause when they look at you, they don't see what I see. No, I don't listen to their wasted lines. Got my eyes wide open and I see the signs, 'cause they don't know about us, and they've never heard of love. No, I don't listen to their wasted lines. Got my eyes wide open and I see the signs, 'cause they don't know about us, and they've never heard of love.
It is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Tracy Ullman. That's who you just heard there. She was actually one of the creators. Oh, well, she gave The Simpsons their start. I mean, it was on the Tracy Ullman show that we were introduced to The Simpsons, a very rough version of The Simpsons, which is still on. It was the show in 1990 that was voted my class's favorite show, although I never really liked The Simpsons, and it's still on some 30 years later, so it truly is amazing. It really is. But Tracy Ullman was at number 8 with They Don't Know, right here on the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. 1984, women earned 37% of computer science degrees. In 1998, women were at 27%. In 2011, only 12% of computer science degrees went to women. No idea what that means. It's just facts that I have in front of me that I figured I would read. Heartbeat City was the Cars' biggest album of their career, had a bunch of hits, including this one, which eventually went to number 1. It was at number 7 this week. The Cars, and You Might Think, on the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time, May 4th, 1984.
Number 7.
Some child, you might think I'm foolish.
it going till the sun fell down. You kept it going.
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer. Number 6.
To all the girls I've loved before, who travel in and out my door, I'm glad they came along. I dedicate this song to all the girls I've loved before, to all the girls I once caressed, and may I say I've had the best for helping me to grow. I owe a lot, I know, to all the girls I've loved before. The winds of change are always blowing, and every time I try to stay, the winds of change continue blowing, and they just carry me away. To all the girls who share my life, who now are someone else's wife, I'm glad they came along. I dedicate this song to all the girls I've loved before, to all of the girls who cared for me, who filled my nights with ecstasy. They live within my heart, I'll always be a part of all the girls I've loved before. The winds of change are always blowing, and every time I try to stay, the winds of change continue blowing, and they just carry me away. To all the girls we've loved before, who traveled in and out our door, we are glad they came along. We dedicate this song to all the girls we've loved before, to all the girls we've loved before, who traveled in and out our doors. We're glad they came along. We dedicate this song to all the girls we've loved before, to all the girls we've loved before. Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson together, to all the girls I've loved before, right here on Decades. I remember that song came out, I was bummed. I'm like, why is this song being played on the radio? And then I grew to like it, and it eventually went to be a number one song. Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson, an eventual number one song. To all the girls I loved before, right here on Decades, Top 9 at 9 Back in Time, May 4th,
1984 is the year. And I had a bunch of things to read here, and now I lost them all. And I got to bring them all back up here. Oh, this computer's so slow. I have my laptop, too, but the Phillies game's on. So I'm trying to do, like, double duty here. TV. Murder, She Wrote, Falcon Crest, Knots Landing. You'd think we liked the nighttime soaps back then. Simon & Simon, 18, Family Ties, 60 Minutes, Cosby Show, Dallas, Dynasty. Now, this show was on for 8 seasons, okay? It was always in the only time it didn't make the top 10 was it was ranked number 11 for the year in season 1 and number 33, and this would be the final season. It was one of my favorites, but it was funny because when it was out, my parents would say, oh, that's a little too racy for you to be watching. And then I was 12 and it was canceled, so I watched more of it in syndication. So enough said. Let's play it. Dun 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 dun. Sing if you know the words.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Where the kisses are
hers and his. Three's company too.
Come and dance on our floor.
Come and dance on our floor.
Take a step that is new.
Take a step that is new.
We've a lovable space that needs your face. Three's company too. You'll see that life is above again. Laughter is calling for you.
Dun 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 dun.
Down at our rendezvous.
Down at our rendezvous.
Three's company too.
Down at our rendezvous.
Down at our rendezvous.
Three's company too. I loved it. And my daughter, who is now 21, she started watching these when she was like 13 or 14, and she must have watched the entire season, the entire series, probably 5 times. Always. And when I look back, there was nothing racy about it. My younger daughter doesn't like it much, but my older daughter, the late John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, Suzanne Summers, Jenny Lee Harrison. How can we forget about her as Cindy Snow? Priscilla Barnes, Richard Klein, the late Norman Fell, and Audrey Lindley, the late Don Knotts. How can we forget Lana? Ann Wedgeworth, who played Lana. Lana was only a main character on the show between season 4 and season 5, and Lana actually passed away 2 years ago at the age of 83. Didn't even know that, but... All right, we got more Top 9 at 9 coming back. We got the top 5 songs this very week, May 4th, 1984. I'm not even going to tell you who was in it, but the number 1 song was every song in the top 5. Every single song, except for one, went on to hit number 1. So I'll give you that hint. We have it coming up next. Right here, it's Decades. Around the World, Decades with JoeyKramer.com, and right here on the River 105 and 103.5. Be back in 55 seconds. That is quick. Hang on.
Back in time with this week's Top 9 at 9. Decades with Joe E. Kramer. Number 5.
Shut
from Hard to Hold. Rick Springfield turned down a leading role on so many shows, as well as I can't think of what movie he was supposed to be in, but he turned it down because he wanted to have his own feature film, which he got Hard to Hold. Sometimes you get what you ask for, so there you go. All right, May 4th, 1984. Here's something interesting. I didn't even know this. During the 1984 Olympics, McDonald's had a slogan, which I do actually remember this. If the U.S. wins, you win. It was a huge campaign for McDonald's for free food when the United States wins a medal. And it caused one of the biggest financial losses of the decade because Team USA won more medals than expected because the Soviets backed out of the Olympics that year. So it was a free-for-all for the United States, and it almost put them under. And those stupid Baby on Board and My Kid's an Honor Student and all that stuff, they first appeared, believe it or not, back in 1984. And so did this one. And how can't you like Cyndi Lauper? Everything about her just makes you smile. And girls just want to have fun, she-bop. And this one right here, you gotta love it. Time After Time was at number 4.
Number 4.
Of you, caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories, time after. Sometimes you picture me, I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, I can't hear what you've said. Then you say, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwind. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. Darkness has turned to gray. Watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. You said, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand
This is the Top 9 at 9 Back in Time.
The biggest hits, the Ripper.
Number 3.
I have a picture pinned to my wall, an image of you and of me, and we're laughing with love at it all. Look at our life now, all tattered and torn. We fuss and we fight and delight in the tears that we cry until dawn. Oh, hold me now. Oh, hold my heart. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. You say I'm a dreamer. We're two of a kind. Both of us searching for some perfect world we know we'll never find. So perhaps I should leave here, yeah, and go far away. But you know that there's nowhere that I'd rather be than with you here today. Hold me now. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. Oh, hold me now. Oh, hold my heart. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. You ask if I love you. Well, what can I say? You know that I do, and that this is just one of those games that we play. So I sing you a new song. Please don't cry anymore. I don't ask for forgiveness, though I don't know just what I'm asking it for. Hold me now. Oh, hold my heart. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. Oh, hold me now. Oh, hold my heart. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. Oh, hold me now. Oh, hold my heart. Stay with me. Stay with me. Let loving start. Let loving start. Oh, hold me now. Hold me now. Oh, hold my
It is the Top 9 at 9. Back in Time. Song number 3. Thompson's with a slew of hits. Hold Me Now. It is the Top 9 at 9. Back in Time. May 4th, 1984.
It's the Top 9 at 9 with Joe E. Kramer on Decades.
Let's try this one too. There you
It's the Top 9
That's
at
the
9
one.
with Joe E. Kramer on Decades.
That's the one I really wanted. 1984, the Academy Award category for Best Original Music hasn't been used in years, but Prince wins it. Lionel Richie was at number 2.
Number 2.
Been a long
And in my dreams I've kissed your lips 1,000 times. I sometimes see you pass outside my door. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your smile. You're all I've ever wanted, and my arms are open wide. 'Cause you know just what to say, and you know just what to do. And I want to tell you so much I love you. I long to see the sunlight in your hair and tell you time and time again how much I care. Sometimes I feel my heart will overflow. Hello, I've just got to let you know, 'cause I wonder where you are, and I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely, or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying I love you. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying I love you.
Top 9 at 9 back in time. I was answering a message from a listener on Facebook.
This is the Top 9 at 9 back in time. Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Yeah, I was on Facebook. I get a lot of messages from people. They ask me different songs and stuff like that, and I don't see the messages. So if you email me, you send me a message, sometimes I just don't see it. Yeah, I'm not ignoring you. And you go to my Facebook page, by the way, you can either type in Decades with Joe E. Kramer. It also comes up Decades with Joe E. Kramer radio show, and also comes up Forever 80s / Decades. So anything brings you there. And the Facebook page has been cooking lately. It really is. It hit its stride and getting a lot of new followers. And I thank you so much for all your comments there. If you type in, I know if you type in at Decades with Joey Kramer in your browser, all of our social media will come up there. The website, Instagram, which I use once in a while. Twitter, which I hardly ever use. I don't get it. What am I going to say in 120 letters or less or whatever it is? So I use mainly Facebook because I'm an old guy, and that's what we use, although. Now that it's being censored, I almost got sent to Facebook police jail earlier this week for a gift that somebody sent as a comment, and I have no idea what was wrong with it. So Mark Zuckerberg is trying to take over the world. That's a whole conversation for another day. All right, 1984 is the year. We've been counting down the 9 biggest songs. You just heard Lionel Richie, Hello. So here we go. Number 9, Let's Hear It for the Boy by Denise Williams. Number 8 was Tracy Ullman, and They Don't Know. Number 7, You Might Think by the Cars. Number 6, To All the Girls I Loved Before by Julio Iglesias, Willie Nelson. Love Somebody by Rick Springfield came in at number 5. Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper was at number 4. Hold Me Now by the Thompson Twins at number 3. You just heard Hello by Lionel Richie. And another love song. It was another movie, and it had another big soundtrack. The movie was called Against All Odds. The song Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now, was done by Phil Collins. And it was the number 1 song this very week, 35 years ago, May 4th, 1984, on the Top 9 at 9, Back in Time.
Number 1.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you. Ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all. How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we've shared the laughter and the pain, and even shared the tears. You're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now. There's just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me. Just the memory of your face. Oh, take a look at me now. There's just an empty space. And you coming back to me is against the odds. And that's what I've got to face. I wish I could just make you turn around and see me cry. There's so much I need to say to you, so many reasons why. You're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now. Well, there's just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me. Just the memory of your face. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause there's just an empty space. But to wait for you is all I can do. And that's what I've got to face. Take a good look at me now. 'Cause I'll still be standing here. And you coming back to me is against all odds. It's the chance I've got to take.
It is the Top 9 at 9, Back in Time.
Take a look at me now.
Phil Collins and Against All Odds. Take a look at me now, right here on Decades. Another Top 9 at 9, Back in Time in the books. Now, we're going to be starting a brand new hour. We're going to do our Decades Artist Spotlight. We're going to be doing the Top 9 at 9, Back in Time. But next week I'm going to have some special guests in there. The band Wayside, the Wayside band. Len Spinelli, a good friend of mine. I've known him since like 5th grade or 6th grade. They're going to be joining me during the 9 o'clock hour. And they're going to be helping me do maybe a top 9 or maybe the brand new segment, which is called Alternating Currents, which all that cool alternative music you heard in the 80s and into the early 90s, we're going to play during the 9 o'clock hour. Not going to overdo it. We're going to do it every couple weeks. So we're going to try to debut that next week. All right? Shadow Steel will be joining us on Memorial Day weekend. Got a lot coming up. And we're going to get some more interviews to do. And that's people are very timid on the interviews, though. Everybody's on tour, but they don't want to talk about the old stuff. So, temperamental artists, you never know. All right, what are we going to do next? We got 10 o'clock hour already. Time just flies by. Keedy in there, Tommy Page, Olivia Newton-John, and a lost track from a band I really like, and I always like, John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. It was from 1986, after the whole Indiana Cruisers original movie, but we're going to play that one on the way, too. This is Decades, exclusively on the river, 105 and 103.5 around the world. Decades with JoeEKramer.com, the Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device, and, of course, Amazon. If you have Alexa, just tell Alexa, Radio Bold, and it'll be there for you. Some more Decades coming up. Hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 10 o'clock.
Hi there, this is Howard Jones.
Hey, this is Coons from John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
This is Nick Richards from Boys Don't Cry.
I wanna be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl.
And you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
You're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
I've been listening to Joey Kramer's Decade Show, which is the business.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
All right, here we go. It is 10 o'clock, and that means 2 more hours of the best music of the 1980s and 1990s. We're going to get it going with a girl who had one big hit. Keedy, Save Some Love.
Now I lay me down to sleep, praying for your love to keep. If you should leave before the dawn, remember this while you are gone. Sometimes I feel like you're swinging door with you, walking in and out, and in and out. I've never been so in love before, and then I have
on air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere.
Life is full of lots of up and downs, but the distance feels further when it's headed for the ground. And there's nothing more painful than to let your feelings take you down. It's so hard to know the way you feel inside when there's many thoughts and feelings that you hide. But you might feel better if you let me walk with you by your side. And when you need a shoulder to cry on, when you need a friend to rely on, when the whole world is gone, you won't be alone, 'cause I'll be there. I'll be your shoulder to cry on. I'll be there. I'll be your friend to rely on when the whole world's gone. You won't be alone, 'cause I'll be there. All of the times when everything is wrong and you're feeling like there's no use going on, you can't give it up. I'll help you work it out and carry on. Side by side with you till the end. I'll always be the one to firmly hold your hand. No matter what is said or done, our love will always continue on. Everyone needs a shoulder to cry on. Everyone needs a friend to rely on when the whole world is gone. You won't be alone, 'cause I'll be there. I'll be your shoulder to cry on. I'll be there. I'll be your friend to rely on when the whole world is gone. You won't be alone, 'cause I'll be there. You'll have my shoulder to cry on. I'll be there. I'll be the one to rely on when the whole world's gone. You won't be alone, 'cause I'll be there. And when the whole world's gone.
It is Decades. Tommy Page, the late Tommy Page, died of suicide in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Back in 2017, a shoulder to cry on.
Joey Kramer. Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
I'm trying. There it goes. Couple tries. My fingers must be dry. I don't know. Two of a kind. John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John got back together for a movie. It was a bomb, but had some cool music. Twist of Fate.
Do we deserve a second chance? How did we fall into this circumstance? We weren't so straight and narrow. This is much more than we deserve. A higher voice has called the tune. Two hearts that lost the beat will now resume. The gift of life extension by divine intervention. It's gotta be a strange twist of fate, telling me that heaven can wait, telling me to get it right this time. Life doesn't mean nothing without the light you bring. Love is what we found the second time around. Don't understand what's going on. Woke up this morning, all the hurt was gone. This is a new beginning. I'm
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
Time has come now.
Decades, Joe E. Kramer here, John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. There's a band that hasn't put out any new music since 1989 when they did the Eddie and the Cruisers 2 soundtrack. They had a song on Roadhouse in 88, Rocky 4 in 86, Voice of American Son is from their 85 album, Tough All Over, and they pack them in, man. They tour the country continuously, playing in venues that hold about 3,000 people, but every concert is always sold out. Everybody loves Eddie and the Cruisers. There's no doubt about that. All right. We got more decades coming up. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, The Cure. We'll do that one. ABC in there, and a lost track from a band called The Transvision Vamp. All straight ahead. This is Decades. We are live around the world. Decades with JoeEKramer.com. Also, on the Radio Bold app for your iPhone or Android device, you can download it, or you can just say to your Alexa, enable Radio Bold. And then that's all you got to do. And then anytime, anywhere, you can listen to it anywhere you have your Alexa in your house or any Alexa device. So, more Decades coming up in less. How about this? Less than 90 seconds. Hang on.
The radio's all yours now.
Let's have some more music. Turn it up louder.
Now here's a very popular number.
This is a guaranteed gold record.
Oh, Maestro, don't forget your cue now.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
hear Human Nature on Decades.
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Northeast PA's the river.
They played in front of millions of people over the last 40 years, but Robert Smith said he was never so nervous as he was playing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. But hey, it was great. I'm so glad the Cure made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was a good year. In Between Days, 1985, Head on a Door was the name of the album. Right here, it's Decades.
Yesterday I got so old I felt like I could die. Yesterday I got so old it made me want to cry. Go on, just walk away. Go on, your choice is made. Go on, and disappear. Go on, away from here. And I know I was wrong when I said it was true, that it couldn't be me and me her in between without you. Yesterday I got so scared I shivered like a child. Yesterday away from you, it froze me deep inside. Come back, don't walk away. Come back today. Come back, what can't you see? Come back to me. And I know I was wrong when I said it was true, that it couldn't be me and me her in between without you.
Are you lost in the 80s? Don't worry, we all got a little lost sometimes. Decades with Joe E. Kramer, where the past comes alive.
Debonair lullabies and melodies reveal in deep despair on lonely nights. He knows just how you feel. The slyest rhymes, the sharpest suits, and miracles made real. Like a burning light on a hot, sweet night. You know you're right, just to hold her tight. He sees it right, makes it out of sight, and everything's good in the world tonight. When Smokey sings, I hear violins. When Smokey sings, I forget everything. As she's packing the things, as she's spreading her wings, the front door might slam, but the back door it rings. And Smokey sings, he sings. Eric comes makes it out of sight, and everything's good in the world tonight. When Smokey sings, I hear violins. When Smokey sings, I forget everything, yeah. As she's touching her things, as she's spreading her wings, smashing the hell with the heaven she brings. Then Smokey sings, he sings. Would it be true to say Luther Cruz size the original originator? Chain screams. Marvin was the only innovator, but nothing can compare. Nothing can compare when Smokey When Smokey sings, I hear violins. When Smokey sings, I forget everything. As she's packing her things, as she's spreading her wings, she threw back the ring. When Smokey sings, Smokey
It is Decades ABC. Their biggest hit of their career, number one, 1987, When Smokey Sings. It's Joey Kramer. Probably the best title for any album in the history of rock and roll. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. REO Speedwagon, Time for Me to Fly on Decades.
I've been around for you, been up and down for you, but I just can't get any relief. I've swallowed my pride for you, lived in light for you, but you still make me feel like a thief. You got me stealing your love away, 'cause you never give it. Peeling the years away, and we can't relive it. Oh, I make you laugh, and you make me cry. I believe it's time for me to fly. You said we'd work it out. You said that you had no doubt that deep down we were really in love. Oh, but I'm tired of holding on to a feeling I know is gone. I do believe that I've had enough.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Joe E. Kramer.
Your name Michael Diamond?
No, mine's Clarence. From downtown Manhattan, the village. My style's wild, and you know that it's still it. This snowbag stepping and you're doing the ball. Shake your robot.
Is there anything better than Beastie Boys? Shake your rumba. Erasure. Beasties into a razor. Chains of love on Decades.
How can I explain when there are few words I can choose? How can I explain when words get broken?
Walking hand in hand.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
How about it? Tell that girl to shut up, which just means that there's so much good music out in the 80s and even into the 90s that didn't get played on radio. And, you know, instead of playing We Built This City a lot, which I'm probably going to play tonight because I like that song anyway. There are other songs. I mean, when you think of the 80s, people think of like Jesse's Girl and Come On Eileen and stuff like that, but there's so much other good stuff up there. And but I was still upset they had another article this week about We Built This City being the worst song of the 1980s. Tell me, everybody knows the lyrics to that. It's one of the most recognizable songs, I think, in the entire rock era. I don't like that. Somebody comes out with this article and everybody just follows it. Probably Mark Zuckerberg. All right, we got more decades coming up. Don't you go anywhere. Prince and the Revolution, The Violent Femmes, Michael W. Smith, and Slade, all straight ahead, right here on Decades. Around the world, decades at joeykramer.com, the Radio Bold app, for your Amazon Alexa, of course, any Alexa device, and right here on the River 105 and 103.5. Hang on.
Increase its value and appeal with the help of customized railings from Scranton Craftsman, the leader in custom wrought iron railings, gates, ornamental.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
It's 11 o'clock.
Hey there, this is John Oates.
Hi, this is Jay King from Club Nouveau.
Lean on me, we are not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Hey, this is Jeff Pilson from Foreigner. You are listening to Decades with
Joey Kramer.
And you're listening to Decades with Joey Kramer.
And you're listening to my good pal Joe E. Kramer on Decades.
This is where the past comes alive. Decades with Joe E. Kramer starts now.
All right, here we go. 5 full hours of retro radio with only 1 hour left. 11 o'clock hour. We go strong around the world. Decades with JoeEKramer.com. Check it out. We got the website. We got the Facebook page. We got the Instagram. I got to pay more attention to the Instagram, but I'm working on it. I'm an 80s kid, so Facebook is the easiest right now. Slade, run away. This is Decades.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Decades is everywhere. 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 Everywhere.
The wind is moving, but I am standing still. A life of pages waiting to be filled. A heart that's hopeful, a head that's full of dreams. But this becoming is harder than it seems. Feels like I'm looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world. Not a lot to lean on, I need your light to help me find my place in this world, my place in this world. If there are millions down on their knees among the many, can you still hear me? Hear me asking, where do I belong? Is there a vision that I can call my own? Show me. I'm looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world. Not a lot to lean on, I need your light to help me find my place in this world, my place in this world. Looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this world. Not a lot to lean on, I need your light to help me find my place in this world, my place in this world. Looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world, my place in this
Joey Kramer. Joey Kramer. Turn it up. This is Decades.
You know, this song was never a big hit when it was out back in 1982. It came out again in the late 80s. Still not a big hit, but somehow it has got a life of its own. And some 36 years later, it's still being played and loved. Violet Femmes, Blister in the Sun on Decades.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like I glister in the sun. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the one. Body and beats, I stain my sheets, I don't even know why. My girlfriend, she's at the end, she is starting to cry. Let me go on, like I blister in the sun.
so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. When I'm walking, I stop, and I'm so strung out. And I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Body and beats, I stain my sheets. I don't even know why. My girlfriend, she's at the end. She is starting to cry. When I'm walking, stop, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you out. Let me go on, like I blister in that song. Let me go on, big hands, I know you're the
Where it's still cool to roll those jeans. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
I never meant to call you when you sorrow. I never meant to call you when you pain. I'm the one who wants to have you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. I never wanted to be your weekend lover. I don't want to be some kind of friend. Hey. Baby, I can never steal you from a lover. It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you underneath the purple rain. Honey, I know, times are changing. It's time we all reach out to something new. That means you too. You say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind. I think you better close it. Let me guide you to the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. You know what I'm saying about up here? Come on, raise your hand. Purple rain, purple rain.
soundtrack. I mean, we talked a little about Footloose before, but Purple Rain, man. Nothing reminds me of the 80s when I think of movie soundtracks more than Purple Rain. And the Prince Estate has announced plans to release another album of previous released, unreleased tracks recorded between 81 and 91. The album is titled Originals, will be available June 7th. And physical copies will be on streaming service. It's basically songs that Prince wrote and recorded for other stars, including Sheila E., The Time, Kenny Rogers, The Bangles. Some of the tracks on it: Sex Shooter, which was Apollonia 6, Jungle Love, Time, Manic Monday. What else is in here? The Glamorous Life, Love Thy Will Be Done, which he wrote for Martika, Nothing Compares to You, which of course Sinead O'Connor became a big hit. His memoirs are also being released, so the Prince memoirs are going to be coming from his estate also. So something to look forward to as a Prince fan. There you go. We got more decades coming up as we wrap things up for another Saturday night. Don't you go anywhere. New edition. And Weird Al Yankovic. Did I mention that? We do one every week, and we'll have another Weird Al song coming up in just a little bit. Right here, Decades, exclusively on the River 105 and 103.5.
And do not attempt to change the frequency.
Changing channels is not only foolhardy, but also extremely dangerous.
We know. That's what everybody says.
So I don't believe you ought to try it.
Now, back to the music. This is Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
Without knowing that life brings a change.
must hold the pace, you can't mess with her mind. She feels the same, she'll let you know. Just prepare yourself and be ready to go. And I hope this message stays in your mind, cause you almost lost a girl who was right on time. Here's one more thing that you got to know. Just cool it down and stay in control. Cool it down. You got to cool it down. Watch out. You're gonna lose control. Cool it down. You better slow it down. Slow it down. 'Cause you're gonna fall in love, baby.
really about. But this time I'm gonna make it on my own. So why don't you fellas just leave me alone? Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. If I love the girl, who cares who you like? Cool it now. Ooh, watch out. Cool it now. Slow it down, 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 down. Cool it now. Ooh, watch out. Cool it now. Slow it down, down, down. Cool it now. Ooh, watch out. 'Cause you're gonna lose control. Cool it now. You got to slow it down. Slow it down. 'Cause you're gonna fall in love. Cool it now. Slow it down. You're gonna lose control. Cool it now. You got to slow it down. Slow it down. 'Cause you're gonna fall in love. Cool it down. Slow it down. 'Cause you're gonna lose control. Cool it now. You got to slow it down. Slow it down.
It's Decades with Joe E. Kramer.
The biggest hits forever.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives.
It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
1985. I have the DVD, and I didn't realize the same stuff on YouTube's on a DVD with all the outtakes, so I got to watch a bunch of the outtakes a few days ago. Is it sad that I thought it was very amusing? Who knows? Girls just want to have fun? Q Feel, Dancing in Heaven, the Orbital Bebop right here. This is Decades. Here we go.
Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Countdown, let's get to the flight time. Night stars are shining in my eyes. Ma says I'm gonna be the first one to dance and bebop in the sky. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Kick it out. Slow, quick, quick, slow. I'll be the first to bossa nova. 10,000 miles above LA. Boogie my way beyond the radar. I'll bring joy to outer space. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Hey, here I am. I hear the universe sing the celestial swing. I'm not alone. Are you receiving me? Clear, there's others out here. Oh, baby, bebop. Oh, baby, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Countdown, let's get to the flight time. Night stars are shining in my eyes. Ma says I'm gonna be the first one to dance and bebop in the sky. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby, bebop. Dancing in heaven, I never thought I'd ever get my feet this far. Oh, baby.
Decades with Joe E. Kramer and another lost track from the 80s.
Isn't it strange? Feels like I'm looking in the mirror. What would people say if only they knew that I was part of some geneticist plan? Born to be a carbon copy man. They're in a petri dish late one night. They took a donor's body cell and fertilized a human egg. And so I say, I think I'm a clone now. There's always two of me
Yankovic, he's been around forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Could you imagine if he put some of these songs out today, though? Songs like, that album is called Even Worse, and Fat was the big album. Could you imagine a song called Fat today being played on the radio? Oh my God! It would be the end of civilization as we know it. People would be offended. They'd be going into their, the safe rooms and coloring and stuff. But everybody loves Weird Al, right? I Think I'm a Clone Now, of course. Tiffany, I Think I'm Alone Now. Tommy James and the Shondells. A lot of great songs. Lasagna was on that album. And he had You Make Me, which was in the style of Oingo Boingo. This song is just 6 words long, which has got my mind set on you. I really like Weird Al way too much. He's on his No Strings Attached tour right now, and I've never seen him live. I've got to go see Weird Al live. I really do. I say it every week, but I got to go see him live. He's the kind of guy who would spend $100 a ticket to go see. All right, that's going to do it. Another edition of Decades in the Books. We'll be back next Saturday night. We'll do it all over again. Hairspray at 8, the 8-track classic flashback and more. This is Decades, exclusively every single Saturday night, live around the world at decadeswithjoeykramer.com, or also the Radio Bold app, which you can download for free in the iPhone or Android store. Also, we're on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And, of course, now, any Alexa device, just say Enable Radio Bold, and then you can say Play The River. See how simple this stuff is? Big list here. I'll talk to you next Saturday night. This is Decades on the River 105 and 103.5.